He's running from his father's legacy. She's trapped by her love for her mother. In the architecture capital of America, two people who feel invisible to the world finally see each other, and that changes everything. If you loved Lost in Translation, this quiet masterpiece will absolutely wreck you. Welcome back to Scene Summary. Today I'm going to show you a 2017 indie drama that somehow flew completely under the radar, despite a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Meet Jin. He's standing outside a modernist hotel in Columbus, Indiana, smoking a cigarette and trying very hard not to think about the fact that his father is lying unconscious in a hospital 3 blocks away. He doesn't want to be here. Didn't even know his father was coming to this town until he got the call saying he'd collapsed. They haven't spoken in over a year, and now Jin's stuck in this small Midwestern city, famous for its architecture, which is ironic considering his father is one of the world's most renowned architects, and Jin couldn't care less about buildings. But here's the thing about Columbus, Indiana. It's not just any small town. It has one of the highest concentrations of modernist architecture in America. Stunning churches, libraries, banks, buildings that people travel across the world to see. And there's one person in Columbus who actually cares about these buildings. A young woman named Casey. She's 23, works at the public library, and spends her free time giving unofficial architecture tours to visitors. She knows every building, every designer, every intentional asymmetry and hidden meaning. She's brilliant, curious, the kind of person who should be at an architecture school in New York or Chicago, but she's not. She's here, in Columbus, taking care of her mother, who works the night shift at a factory and is a recovering meth addict. Casey could leave. She has opportunities. A professor even offered to help her apply to work with Deborah Burke, a famous architect. But Casey keeps saying no, keeps staying, because she's terrified that if she leaves, her mother will relapse. And maybe more than that, she's terrified of wanting something for herself. So we've got Jin, trapped by obligation to a father he resents, and Casey, trapped by love for a mother she's trying to save. Two people stuck in the same small town for completely different reasons, and that's when they meet. Jin's outside his hotel late one night when Casey walks by. She offers him a cigarette. He's surprised. She looks young, wholesome, like someone who wouldn't smoke. They start talking. Casey mentions she saw him at the hospital. She was supposed to attend his father's lecture before he collapsed. She recognizes Jin as Jae-Yong Lee's son, the famous architect. They introduce themselves, Jin, Casey, actually Cassandra, but everyone calls her Casey, still separated by the fence, until suddenly there's a break in the fence, and they're side by side, no barrier between them anymore. It's subtle, it's quiet, but something just changed. Over the next few days, they start meeting up, going on walks, looking at buildings. Casey shows Jin the modernist structures around Columbus, the first Christian church where his father collapsed, asymmetrical but balanced, she explains. The library with its enormous glass walls, the bank that looks like a spaceship. Jin pretends he doesn't care, says he grew up around architecture and it feels like nothing to him. You grow up around something, it becomes invisible. But Casey sees through it. She knows he's running from his father's world. And the more they talk, the more Jin realizes maybe he's not avoiding architecture. Maybe he's avoiding his father. Because his father was brilliant, admired publicly, cold privately, the kind of man who built extraordinary things but couldn't build a relationship with his own son. And Jin, he moved to Seoul, took a job translating books, something as far from architecture as possible, hasn't called his father in over a year. When people ask about him, Jin changes the subject, but now his father's unconscious, might never wake up, and Jin's stuck in this limbo, waiting, resenting, feeling guilty for resenting. Meanwhile, Casey's dealing with her own trap. Her mother works nights at a factory, strict supervision, no phone calls, no visitors. Casey picks her up after every shift, checks in constantly, makes sure she's okay. One night, Casey can't reach her mom, phone's dead. Casey panics, drives to the factory. Her mom's co-worker has to sneak outside to tell her everything's fine. Her phone just died. This is Casey's life, constant vigilance, constant fear. Her friend Emma visits from college, talks about Amsterdam, LA, all the places she's been. She asks Casey when she's leaving Columbus. Casey says she likes it here, but you can see it in her face. It's not that she likes it, it's that she's afraid of what happens if she goes. Her co-worker Gabriel keeps pushing her to apply for graduate programs, the Deborah Burke opportunity, but Casey deflects, says it's not gonna happen. And when Gabriel asks why, she just says, "You wouldn't understand," but Jin would understand, because he knows what it's like to be trapped by someone else's life. Jin and Casey keep meeting, keep talking, keep walking through Columbus. They don't flirt, they don't touch. There's no dramatic confession of feelings, but there's something there, something deeper than attraction. It's recognition. They see each other in a way no one else does. Jin sees Casey's intelligence, her fear, her quiet desperation to stay small so she doesn't hurt anyone. Casey sees Jin's anger, his guilt, his inability to grieve for a father who was never really present. And the buildings, the architecture Casey loves so much, become the language they use to talk about things they can't say out loud. When they look at the modernist church, they're really talking about rigidity versus openness. When they discuss asymmetry and balance, they're talking about their own lives, unbalanced, off-center, trying to find stability in chaos. Jin spends a lot of time at the hospital, sitting, waiting. His father's stable but unconscious, not good enough to move, not bad enough to let Jin leave. It's emotional limbo, and it's excruciating. Jin's friend Eleanor visits briefly. She's a former student of his father's. She tells Jin that his father talked about him, that Jin is all he has. Jin laughs bitterly, says his father has his students, his work. He's never needed Jin. Eleanor tries to bridge the gap, but Jin won't let her, because accepting that his father cared would mean grieving what they never had, and that's harder than anger. One night, Casey takes Jin to see her favorite building in Columbus. It's number 3 on her list, the bank. She explains why it matters to her, the way light moves through the space, the way it makes you feel. Time passes. Jin's father stays unconscious. Jin's still in Columbus, unable to choose whether to stay or leave. Something's shifting between him and Casey. They keep meeting, walking, talking about buildings that are really metaphors for the lives they're too scared to live. They walk through places like the Miller House. Casey talks about how architecture can make you feel open or trapped. Jin realizes she's not talking about a house. She's talking about herself. He pushes her gently on why she won't take opportunities people offer, why she stays small. Casey gets defensive, says her mom needs her, says it's complicated, but Jin understands. He's doing the same thing, staying because leaving feels impossible. There's a moment where both of them stop pretending. They're sitting outside, smoking, not saying much. Jin sees Casey clearly, someone who may be staying because leaving feels scarier. Casey sees Jin clearly too, someone who's been running from his father so long he doesn't know how to stop, someone who's turned resentment into identity. They don't say this out loud, but you can see it in their faces, the recognition, the understanding, the quiet acknowledgement that they're both stuck, and staying stuck is a choice. They keep walking through Columbus. The question hangs between them. What are they actually going to do? Is Casey really going to stay forever? Work at the library? Give tours? Watch everyone else leave? She doesn't have an answer. Or she does, but she's not ready to say it. Casey's mother keeps working nights, keeps staying clean, keeps being the reason Casey tells herself she can't leave. But the truth is harder to ignore now. Maybe staying isn't the only option. Maybe fear has been deciding for her. They meet one last time, outside, under the Columbus sky, surrounded by all these buildings they've walked past together. No dramatic confession, no kiss, no promises. Just two people who helped each other see something true. The goodbye is quiet, simple. They look at each other with understanding that doesn't need words. Everything needed has been said through all those walks, all those conversations, all those moments of silence. They stand there briefly, then go their separate ways. Jin walks back. His father's still unconscious, still might wake up, still might not. Casey goes home to her mother, her library job, the life that feels like home and cage. Neither knows what happens tomorrow, whether Jin leaves or stays, whether his father wakes or slips away, whether Jin finds peace or carries resentment forever. Neither knows if Casey applies to programs, leaves Columbus, pursues architecture, or stays. What they do know, finally, is they have a choice. Staying isn't the only option. Fear has been deciding for them. Sometimes awareness is where change begins, even if you can't see the ending yet. Subscribe to Scene Summary for more quiet, powerful stories like this. Hit that notification bell and drop a like if this one hit you right in the feels.